The characters of the Gilded Age all gave us different drama that best served every aspect needed to elevate the show. While some were just too good to be true, others were outrightly embarrassing and annoying, and you will be surprised at who ranks the highest among these characters. There are a few horrible characters in the Gilded Age, but Elizabeth Kirkland is the worst character ever on the show for being a colorist and an antagonizer who doesn't know when to stop. When we first met Elizabeth, she left a very wrong impression, starting with telling her grandkids not to play in the sun to avoid darkening their skin and shaming Peggy's father for his history as a formerly enslaved person. As the show progressed, she only got worse. She actively tried to discourage her son from courting Peggy, happy to uncover Peggy's past and use it against her. She also became a nuisance at a meeting for women's voting rights to push her displeasure. Elizabeth also disliked Peggy for not being more womanly. She even went as far as warning her son to find a partner who is more interested in being a wife and mother, unlike Peggy, who stood passionately for women's rights. Speaking of women's rights, Lady Sarah also stands on the wrong side of that by wanting to rip Glattis's rights away from her. Despite Glattis being a duchess, Sarah disrespected and even used the phrase "train like a dog" to describe her ill treatment of Glattis. Lady Sarah was unbearably cruel to Glattis for no reason, constantly belittling her and treating her like she was less than human. Adding to her list of offenses, she insulted Americans despite her family depending on their wealth, bargaining for the money they would gain from marrying an American heiress. Her outright disrespectful nature made her an annoying character to watch, and seeing her finally being put in her place was truly a beautiful moment. You might be surprised to see Peggy's father on this side, dedicated to the worst characters, as we find our way to the top, where the very best is waiting to be revealed, but he's the reason Peggy is being haunted by her past. Although Arthur Scott has done well for himself despite his history, he made things worse for Peggy by lying to her about her baby, keeping her in the dark until the child passed away. He is the exact reason Elizabeth had reasons to mock Peggy, and his actions destroyed Peggy's first love story. By making her annul her marriage and concealing the birth of her baby, all because he disapproved of the man Peggy chose, he left a lasting trail of emotional damage that will continue to be a sorrowful memory for Peggy. Interestingly, the Duke ranks higher than most on this list because he has been proven to have a good heart, but it took him a while to step up and stop being micromanaged by Lady Sarah. Initially, his hesitance and indifference made him difficult to watch, as he waited for Glattis to show affection and interest in his estate before he finally started coming around. This wasn't very pleasant, as he should have first made Glattis feel safe and loved in their transactional marriage. However, despite his earlier mistakes, seeing him evolve into a more reliable and loving husband is beautiful, showcasing growth and redemption that added depth to his character by the end. Despite being a lovable character sometimes, Marion gets super annoying other times. Marion has had 2 failed engagements, yet she didn't seem to learn anything about the importance of communication. Her unreasonable behavior was exposed when she refused to let Larry speak or return before breaking things off with him. Although her anger and assumptions based on Larry's past romantic relationship with a widow and lies about visiting a house of ill repute were understandable, it was essentially Marion's fault for not allowing him to explain himself before making her decision. If not for the undeniable love and connection between her and Larry, she would have had yet another engagement disaster, all because of her tendency to act impulsively without proper communication. Next to Marion is Bertha Russell, whose only flaw and strength is her ruthlessness. Bertha is a captivating character who refuses to take no for an answer, and her love for power and control is evident in nearly all her actions. Yet, beneath this exterior, Bertha also deeply values and seeks her family's approval. While she may have pushed things too far with Glattis, she redeemed herself by ensuring that Glattis settled in her home in the best way possible. Bertha might be a little crazy, but her intentions are often rooted in love and care. She's neither entirely good nor bad, perfectly embodying the complexity required to thrive and control movements in that era. Dr. Kirkland is a fantastic person and a skilled doctor who saved George Russell's life despite the dangers associated with a black man treating a successful white business person in that era. However, he wasn't without flaws, as he stressed Peggy emotionally under the influence of his mother. His reaction to Peggy's explanations made her assume their relationship was over, leaving her hurt and unsure of where they stood. Fortunately, Dr. Kirkland eventually came around, though the uncertainty uncertainty he created left viewers questioning his ability to make the right decision until he finally did. Ultimately, he proved dependable and willing to grow, which made his journey as a character both frustrating and rewarding. Now, moving from the flawed characters to the almost perfect ones, John Adams was a great one who would be greatly missed. John was a kind and honorable man who loved Oscar dearly, despite the societal challenges and stigma surrounding their relationship. His unwavering support and love for Oscar were remarkable, and his influence brought out the best in him. John enriched Oscar's life emotionally and materially, as he helped set him up again and even willed his house to him. This act of love and selflessness exemplified John's character, making him a standout figure whose presence deeply impacted those around him while leaving a lasting impression on viewers. While Bertha is ruthless in her position, George is relentless with his business, which almost got him broke and killed this season. His treatment of workers and extreme bargaining deals have made him an easy target. Still, George remains a faithful husband who avoided temptation with Turner and always ensures his family is well cared for. Though his insistence on speaking about Glattis's forced marriage to the Duke has caused great distance between himself and his wife, George's intentions were always rooted in what he believed to be best for his daughter and his family. But then, the last episode of season 3 left viewers wondering if George's love and patience had finally reached their limits. Just like his father, Larry might be the next best thing in business with how he could spot opportunities even George missed. However, he's not without minor flaws, such as when he had an affair with a widow, leading Bertha to believe he toys with every woman he spends time with, like Marion. Despite this, Larry shines as an excellent brother, business partner, and friend. He even helped Jack become rich through his influence. Larry demonstrates growth by recognizing his mistakes, as seen when he made peace with Marion at the end of season 3. Though he occasionally faces conflict, Larry's intelligence and emotional maturity make him one of the most admirable characters in the show. Ada is a great, innocent character who's just living life as it comes, but her naivety can sometimes be frustrating. Overall, she's an engaging and calm presence whose character solidifies the unique energy in the Van Ryn household. Ada often acts as the perfect counterbalance to the chaos around her, bringing a sense of peace and simplicity. It was wonderful to see her experience love, which added so much depth to her character beyond the image of a spinster stuck in her sister's home. However, Ada has moments where she pushes things too far, like expecting everyone to pledge against drinking. Still, she remains a lovable character whose journey has brought warmth and endearment to the series. Next to Ada is Agnes, undoubtedly the funniest character on the show. While she can be snobby and stubborn only when it suits her, Agnes is known for making sharp, sensible remarks that everyone loves. She's the perfect older character, having lived through enough experiences to try to warn others of potential mistakes. Agnes is a perfect blend of wisdom and wit, supporting women's rights and disliking anti-black patronization. Despite her rigid standards, Agnes remains a fan favorite for her humor, insight, and ability to call things as she sees them. Glattis might be very different from her mother, but she isn't just innocent, she's brilliant. She's a good girl who fought hard for love until circumstances forced her to let go. In a marriage that seemed destined to be miserable, Glattis made a remarkable turnaround, winning the Duke over to her side. Her strength and adaptability are commendable, especially as she now happily settles into her life, expecting a child despite all her past challenges. Glattis has shown immense growth and resilience, proving she's far more than the sweet, naive girl we first met. Her ability to overcome dark moments and carve out happiness for herself is truly inspiring, making her one of the show's strongest characters. Following Glattis on this list, Oscar is just as sweet and funny as his mother. Oscar has faced some of the most terrible encounters on the show, from losing all his mother's money to being kind to the woman who set him up. He also lost his favorite person right before his eyes, yet he continues to forge ahead with resilience and determination. Working out a plan with Turner shows his resourcefulness and refusal to give up. Oscar's plans and methods are never dull, and his ability to keep moving forward despite setbacks makes him one of the show's most endearing and entertaining characters. Peggy rises high on this list for being true to herself, going through life despite the stigma attached to her situation. She displays incredible strength and grace, forgiving her father even after the pain his actions caused her. Peggy's resilience shines as she not only stands firm against the temptations brought by her interactions with Mr. Fortune, but also actively campaigns for women's rights, a bold and commendable move, especially as a Black woman in that era. Her determination to fight for equality while navigating personal and societal challenges makes her one of the most inspiring and impactful characters on the show. And that brings us to the very best character on the show, who happens to be Jack, the former footman. Jack is a sweet, considerate, and talented young gentleman who is easily the most humble character on the show. Despite making it big in his clock business, Jack chose to stay connected to the only family he's ever known rather than isolating himself in his own beautiful home. His loyalty, humility, and good nature make him a standout character deserving of all the success and happiness that's come his way. It's heartwarming to know that Jack has even more wonderful things in store because such kindness and humility are scarce and admirable qualities.